It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Well, welcome to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. I'm really looking forward to this week. We have so much to talk about, and I wanted to make sure that we got to a lot of the news that's going on over the weekend. And we had our birthday bashes last weekend. A lot of people I haven't seen in years had come by. We had 100 whatever. It was rock and rolling time here at Freedom's Phoenix Farm here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. Top of the hill party. That's right. Hit 50 years old. I'm not over the hill. I'm at the top of the hill, and it's a mesa that goes into infinity. Well, we're starting off this week with a lot of the news is Japan, you know, what's happened there and what we can expect, and, of course, Libya. Well, there's someone that can, you know, address both of those issues, and I'm glad to have back on the show Matt Bruce. Now, he's a nationally syndicated radio talk show host. He's a decorated war veteran. He's a first responder. He's in the fire department in New York City there to the World Trade Center. And when that happened, man, he's first on the scene. Now, he's also does a lot of radio, and he's a conservative. Now, he's got a little bit more to his bio. Now, he has a son, as I remember, and last time we talked, that's a Marine in Afghanistan. We'll find out where he's at now. He's also been a training instructor, for, like hazmat. How do you deal when you have a nuclear leak? What happens when there's radiation radiating to peoples? Then what? Well, we can talk about that a little bit. But I tell you, the first thing I want to get to is Libya. Now, I know that I got you there, Captain?
Yes, sir.
Now, he has a radio show called The Captain's America, the captainsamerica.com. Now, your broadcast also Armed Forces Radio or something, aren't you? Don't the troops get to hear you?
Yes, sir. I get interviews on the Captain's America radio show from our military serving all around the world. A lot of folks in Afghanistan, as you might well imagine, Marines, Army, Air Force, whatever. And the sailors aboard ship, Air Forcemen at their various air bases. But I also host a show specifically geared to the military on Armed Forces Radio. That's called Troop Talk Radio, Voice of the Troops. And the military men and women of our country are the creme de la creme. I am so fortunate, and we should all be honored that we've got such great young military men and women serving our country.
And I have no problem with young men and women of this country. It's just, how they choose to use them sometimes. That's what we're going to talk about. I want to, when you had to talk about on your radio program when the Democrat President Obama sent troops into Libya, what kind of spin did you put on that? That's a good thing, bad thing? Should it be limited? Just air? Do we need to invade? What's your take on this?
Well, first of all, we haven't been told the truth from the beginning. We were told this was a humanitarian mission, but the facts of the matter speak otherwise, Ernest. And it's obvious that we are undergoing a regime change there, and that we are actively going after changing Muammar Gaddafi, removing him from power, because when the British happened to lob 2 Tomahawk missiles from a nuclear submarine inside the compound where Muammar Gaddafi is, it no longer is a humanitarian mission. And when we're doing close air support, as we have been, NATO and our forces, our planes and the French planes, British planes flying and taking out tanks and taking out rocket positions, that's close air support. There's somebody on the ground, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's not the rebels that are directing these strikes. I know, and there's no doubt in my mind, that there aren't CIC and forward observers operating on the ground right now in Libya.
Okay. We know this from weeks ago. There were some SAS special forces from the United Kingdom that were captured in Libya by the rebels. And they go, hello, they're right here. So what was this has been planned, it seems, for a long time, but to whose interest? How are we going to benefit from this? And to think that this is different somehow. I'll give you an example, man. I want to make sure that you understand our perspective. Last week, I had a lot of people talking about this from the Middle East, and I had a gentleman that's an elected official in the eastern province of Saudi Arabia. Now, he's, advocating for the people, we need human rights and all that kind of stuff, but, he wants to stay alive and not dead and keep his position. So he's educated here in Colorado, gets his bachelor's, he gets his master's in economics in Tennessee. So he understands American culture and our perspective and a look at things that are going on and the hypocrisy that is so obvious, because Saudi Arabia takes troops with the United Arab Emirates, goes into Bahrain, puts down peaceful protests there with violence and killing people. At the same time, we're going, oh, you can't have that. We're going to take out the leadership in Libya. I mean, do you think that the hypocrisy is lost on these 30% of the population in Arabia is under 15. You think they don't get it? Well, of course they do. It's the internet. So now I'm going, how is it that we can rationalize all of this and support what they're doing in Libya? So, but, I know that you're an advocate of, some of the things that's going on in the other parts of the Middle East. I'm wondering how you can see there's a difference. Where's the line? What is it that you're looking at's different?
Well, first of all, if there's nobody that doesn't think that what's going on in Libya isn't about oil and isn't in particular about what's going on in Europe, where 25% of the oil they get there comes from Libya, then I've got a bridge I want to show you that goes over Lake Erie in the middle of downtown Chicago. That's first of all. This one here, this time around, is about oil, because the price of oil, had it gone up to the levels that they thought it was going to go to, $130, $140 a barrel, would have literally wrecked and destroyed what's left of the European economy. We all know that. But when it comes to the military, and it comes to the military aspect, we get this cockamamie bull story from President Barack Obama, who, oh, by the way, still never officially consulted Congress on the War Powers Resolution of 1973. He never followed through on that, which is why you have not only Democrats, but you have Republicans like Ron Paul saying that he has committed an impeachable offense, and they're going to look into this. They really are going to look into this.
Well, we had Dennis Kucinich, who brought about impeachment, or at least the articles introduced it, for President Bush on this very reason. Mm-hmm. And he's talking about it. I don't know if he's willing to do it himself against Obama, but he definitely is talking about it on Russian television. So, I'm going, okay, I'm trying to find some consistency here. And I thought of you because, being a I call them MKers, man, America. I mean, that's definitely you, Captain America. So I'm going, we got to get mad on, because you have a son that's in the Marines. Is he still in Afghanistan?
He's in Afghanistan. He's a short-timer, but his unit has been told to pack up. They might be leaving early, and I'm afraid early means they might be going perhaps towards the Middle East.
Yeah, wow. Well, I'm especially since you have, you're supportive of a lot of things I might not be. I mean, you're certainly supportive of your son.
Yes, sir.
And that there is a focused mission, and that we know what it is. Well, we're going to try and find out what it is. When we come back here after this first break, Matt and I, Captains America, the CaptainsAmerica.com radio program, we're going to go ahead and talk about what he knows, because he's right there by CENTCOM. He gets to go in and watch the operations live and in-person infrared TV kind of, Clancy stuff. We're going to talk about that and what he knows and the people that he knows and what we know is coming here on Declare Your Independence in just a little bit. You stay right there.